welcome to the Spin Wheel Coaster Challenge video, where I'm basically taking all the roller coasters in the game and all the elements and using a spin wheel to generate a random coaster. Let's get into it. Right then, let's see what we're going to get. So this is the list of coasters, so this will be selecting the coaster for the video. What we're going to get. It is, looks like Interceptor? Yep, maybe? Yep, so the Vekoma Booster Bike Coaster. I'm probably just going to do a new generation Vekoma. Maybe not the bikes, because I don't really like the bikes. So these are the elements. What's the first one? Sea Serpent Roll, yes. We love Sea Serpent Rolls. Favourite element on the Smiler. So I've just copied all of these from the roller coaster wiki. So just all the roller coaster elements that exist at the moment. And this next one is Heartline Roll. Nice and easy one. I'm sure I can fit that in somewhere. Pretty much every ride is a Heartline Roll. Nice simple inversion. Next one is going to be Overbanked inversion. Many Vekomas have them. We'll be fine. And the next one is Interlocking Corkscrews. Okay, I don't think I've seen a Vekoma with those. Mainly B&M sort of thing, but yeah, we can have a Vekoma with those. I think we'll just do 5 elements. I can add other ones. So the next element is a rollover camelback, like the one on Circuit Breaker. Nice, that's a Vekoma, so that could work quite well. Let's get to building it. Right then, so I think I might do this coaster a launch. I mean, I know this coaster doesn't have a launch. You can see I've changed the trains to the invincible ones as well, but actually, no. I think I've done enough launch coasters. I think nice tease, but I've got another Vekoma launch coaster coming at some point as a video, so I think I might do this as a lift hill actually. Bit in the style of like Let Coaster maybe a Vekoma Mega Coaster if we curve it round at the top because the chain normally goes a little bit further. I think that looks about right angle wise. I know, but I say it looks about right, it's invisible. But if you make the, is that height is right? Yeah, about right steepness. If you make this into a blueprint and then copy it across, I'll show you how to do that. So I've made a blueprint of the coaster here. I'm trying to line them up, which is a bit annoying. It's quite hard to do. But basically because the lift hill track for this coaster, because it doesn't technically have a lift hill, the lift hill track for this coaster is invisible using the mod. So if you make a blueprint of the coaster, select the track piece, turn it back to normal track, and delete that end track piece and the station, you can just slide it over so it looks like the piece of track is still there. And because it's a blueprint, obviously it's matching the exact size of that actual track section. So I don't think I want to make this drop too steep. Do I go 90? I think it could probably go 90 at some point, but it'll probably get smoothed out anyway. I don't think most of these Vekomas have. I know Abyssus has got a relatively steep drop, but it's not 90 degrees, is it? So we'll go down here. I don't want this to be too intense, which that kind of looks like it's going to be, but I can smooth that out. And then I think I'll go for the, what's the turn called? The thing that's on Circuit Breaker? Rollover Camelback, that's the name for it. So it kind of, I'm looking at a reference photo while I'm doing this, it kind of like starts to twist to the right or left, I don't know. Which it starts to twist like bank wise as it's already going up, and then somehow like kind of flattens out on the top, but still in like kind of a banked curve. That's too tight, I think, yeah. I'll go back and delete that bit. So it kind of like flattens out at the top whilst it's still turning, and then it almost kind of flattens out there-ish, and then kind of like turns into another bank. That still looks a bit steep, I might have to work with that a little bit. Kind of bring it out a bit more, bank it a bit. Yeah, that looks a bit better, we'll get there. And then it kind of does another banked turn here to go into like the drop, kind of. It's a really weird element. Kind of banks down into quite a steep drop, same as kind of the first drop of the ride. You know, it kind of flattens out. It's not a shallow drop in the slices, it's quite a steep drop. So I'd imagine at the top of that element would be quite slow. And then it brings you down here, and I think that could do with being a bit steeper. Oh, this looks bad. It will, I'll smooth it, I promise. And then I think I might do, I kind of want like an overbank turn, but then it was an overbank inversion, wasn't it? So I might do kind of like an overbank stall, kind of. So if I bank it kind of the opposite direction, so there's like a little bit of a swing, a bit of a snap into it, because Vekoma coasters are quite like flowy like that. And like snap it round into it. That's a bit too, I don't know, that'll work. And if it banks out of it and goes down here to flatten out again, then I think the next element, I'm going to put the sea serpent roll here, I think, just after that. So once it's flattened out, it'll still have quite a lot of speed here, I think, so the sea serpent roll needs to be quite large. Try and make it about the same height as the stall turn, overbanky thingy. I don't think I've ever actually built a sea serpent roll. I feel like Vekoma being Vekoma would probably give this quite a different shape into a normal sea serpent roll as well. Because normal sea serpent rolls, especially the one on the Smiler, they start to bank outwards, being upside down actually before they reach the top peak, whereas this one doesn't. I don't know whether I might change that when I smooth it, but then if you just bring it up and then round again, like that, that's the wrong way. There we go. Kind of want to exit this part of the sea serpent roll. It's going to have to go into the kind of like the second half of the layout, which I think will be the corkscrews and the heartline roll at some point, but this ride needs some airtime as well, so I'm going to have to put some sort of airtime in somewhere. So I think I'll put the corkscrews in here. I don't know how intense that turn's going to be coming out of the sea serpent roll. There might have to be something to look at, because that might be a bit sharp, but yeah, I'll put the corkscrews in here. It's going to be kind of B&M style interlocking corkscrews, so I'll put the first corkscrew so you get a nice bit of like flowing laterals kind of, and it snaps you into quite a sharp turn here as you go like a 180-degree turn to get into the other corkscrew. And I can start to curve the other corkscrew at kind of the same profiling as this one. They're not going to completely interlock, I don't think, because that needs to get back to the station. There's a bit too much going on that right side, so I think they'll interlock just here. And if I bring this down and flatten it off, I think I might put some sort of airtime hill in here, because this ride just, at the moment, doesn't really have any airtime. I'm just going to build the end of the brake section now. I normally do this before I finish the layout, just so I know where the coaster like needs to come back to mentally. So I've put the block section. I think I'll put a curved piece of normal track here into some curved brakes, I think. Just slow the train down enough. And then this is the airtime hill I was on about, just the last airtime hill on the ride that will, I need to straighten that up a bit, that looks a bit, that's not symmetrical on that, and that's going to really annoy me. I'll do that afterwards. So if I kind of aim this airtime hill down here, yeah, I can put the heartline rolling going into the brakes, so that means it can't really flatten off at that point. Start building the end of it, just so I know where it's going to kind of end up. Is it going to bank that way? Yeah, if it banks that way and goes into the brakes, I'll go that down a bit. This might look a little bit 0G roll-ish at the moment, but in smoothing it'll calm down into more of a heartline roll. And that's pretty much this coaster done once I've linked this up. So I will speak to you after some time lapse so you can see the actual ride. there it is. There is the coaster finished. The Vekoma, I don't know, Mega Coaster I suppose you'd call it. I'll put the stats in the description for you if you want to look at those. But yeah, that coaster's now finished. If there's any other like coaster challenge videos you'd like me to do, like sort of this style, if you want to comment any of those down below, feel free to. I'm really happy with the way this coaster's turned out. It's quite a nice layout. Say it was randomly generated, so I think I've done quite well. Landscaped the area a little bit, added some more of the realism details, and yeah, we're finished. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.